Welcome back to my channel Kishore Sir Ki Pathshala. Today we'll be doing a very important chapter, that is carbon and its compound for 10 Cbse. Let's see the occurrence of carbon. You'll see that carbon is present in all living structures as such, right? The amount of carbon present in the earth crust in its atmosphere is quite meager. It's quite small. The earth crust has only round about 0.2% of carbon in the form of minerals like your carbonates, your coal, your petroleum, and all this. And the atmosphere has around about 0.3% of carbon dioxide. In spite of all this, the small amount of carbon available in nature, the importance of carbon seems to be immense. Right? If you see, the milk contains carbon, the paper contains carbon, right? So carbon is everywhere as such. So now let's see the properties of some carbon compounds, right? If you see, most of the carbon compounds, they are poor conductor of electricity, all right? Okay, except the graphite is there. Carbon compounds have low melting and boiling points compared to the ionic compound. If we compare the ionic compounds like my sodium chloride, the carbon compounds will have much lesser melting point and boiling points and such, right? The forces of attraction between the molecules are not very strong, and carbon compounds are largely non-conductors of electricity, okay, except graphite. And we can conclude that the bonding in these compounds does not give rise to any of the ions. Okay, so that will not give rise to any of the ions as such. Now let's try to understand few things about carbon. Okay, if you see, the atomic number of carbon is 6, right? Atomic number of carbon is 6. Now you'll see that carbon electronic configuration, that is, for K shell there are 2 electrons, okay. Then the second shell L, how many electrons are present? 4 electrons are present. So electronic configuration for carbon is 2 and 4, right? That is, the shell 1 is having 2 electrons and shell 2 is having 4 electrons. Okay. So you'll see that the valence shell, that is the outermost shell, okay, right? That is the valence shell is having how many valence electron? There are 4 valence electron available, right? So 4 valence electrons are available in this. Okay. Now you see that carbon, it falls between which 2 noble elements, right? Helium is one, which is at atomic number 2, and another is my neon, which is at atomic number 10. So carbon falls in between these 2 noble elements. Now let's see bonding in carbon, what type of bonding the carbon gives. Alright, till now if you have seen, we have come across something called as ionic bond, right? Okay, where the transfer of electron was possible. Okay, we have given example of formation of sodium chloride compound, right, where we have seen that 1 electron of sodium is taken by chlorine to form sodium chloride. Now, if you see, the reactivity of elements is explained as their tendency to attain a completely filled outer shell. Right? To fill this outer shell is the priority of any of the element. Right? That is to attain a noble gas configuration. Okay. Noble gas configuration it has to attain. So that is the priority. So elements forming ionic compounds achieve this either by gaining or losing the electron. If you see sodium, right, sodium, what it does, it gives one electron, and chlorine, it accepts one electron in their outermost shell, right? Okay, to gain the noble gas configuration of the nearest noble gas element, right? Now, in the case of carbon, you'll see that it has got 4 electrons in its outermost shell, right? And it needs to gain or lose 4 electrons to attain the noble gas configuration. Okay, just see. Now you'll see that why it has to lose 4 electrons or gain 4 electrons. You'll see this carbon, its atomic number is 6, as we have discussed earlier, right? It is between helium, which is atomic number 2. So if it loses 4 electron, it can attain a noble gas configuration as like that of helium, right? And if it gains 4 electrons, so it can go to neon, which is atomic number is 10, right? So both way, gains 4 electrons, loses 4 electrons, sorry, and here it gains 4 electron, right? Here it gains 4 electron. Okay, so this is the condition, right? Now let's see what carbon really does. So the formation of the cation and anion is the issue, right? Okay, it can form a cation or it can form a anion. Okay, how it will form a cation? If it loses 4 electron. If carbon loses 4 electron, it will form a cation, right? If it accepts 4 electron, then it can form a anion, right? Now let's see how and what the carbon really does. So you'll see that it could gain 4 electrons forming carbon anion, right? And reaching to the nearest noble electronic configuration of that of neon, that is 10, right? It has got 6 electrons, so it can gain 4 more, right? And it can reach to neon like this, right? But it would be difficult for the nucleus with the 6 protons. Here you will see that 6 protons to hold 10 electrons, okay? Because number of protons in this case is how much? Is 6, right? So for a nucleus bearing 6 protons, it is difficult to hold this 10 electrons, okay? That is 4 extra electrons, right? Now let's see the second case. Okay, second case, it could lose 4 electron. See, it could lose 4 electron and become like helium, right? To form a cation, that is C4 plus, but it would require large amount of energy to remove these 4 electrons, leaving behind a carbon cation with 6 proton in its nucleus and holding just 2 electrons in valence shell. right? So tremendous amount of energy is required in this case to remove these four electrons, right, and to become like helium. So if you see in both the cases, this is not possible. So in the coming episodes, we'll be seeing how this carbon solves this problem to attain a noble gas configuration. Thanks for watching my channel Kishore Sir Ki Pathshala. Kindly like, share and subscribe Kishore Sir Ki Pathshala for more informative videos.